14. That's how many times one man won the lottery. Not once by luck. 14 times in 14 different lotteries across 4 continents. Naturally, they came looking for him. The FBI, the CIA, tax investigators from 3 different countries. They searched for fraud. They searched for a hidden code. They searched for anything illegal. They found nothing. Because he hadn't broken the system. He'd simply proven it was already broken. But one investigator refused to let the case go. And what he eventually found would end Mandel's story, just not the way anyone expected. This is the story of the man who outsmarted luck. Bucharest, the 1950s. Gray buildings, long lines, empty shelves. His name was Stefan Mandel. He was an accountant, a man who spent his days counting other people's fortunes, and knowing he'd never own any fortune of his own. He had a wife, Maria, and 2 young children. Maria wanted stability. Stefan wanted a way out. "We have 2 children, Stefan," she told him once. "We can't gamble on your theories." He didn't argue. He just kept calculating. This was communist Romania, a closed system with no room to rise. This wasn't a place where you became rich. This was a place where you simply survived. But Stefan had one advantage no one else seemed to notice. He didn't see the world the way everyone else did. He saw it as numbers. Born in 1934 into a poor Jewish family, he was making just $88 a month, barely enough to feed his wife and children. One evening, Stefan sat in front of an old television, watching the lottery draw like millions of others. But something caught his attention that no one else seemed to notice. Where everyone else saw randomness, he began to see a pattern. He grabbed a pencil and started writing on the back of an old newspaper. He asked himself one simple question. What if the lottery isn't random at all? What if it's simply a system? Any lottery is just a finite set of combinations. Not infinity, not magic, just mathematics. And if there's a system behind it, it can be beaten. For years, he studied every possible combination, developing a method he would later call combinatorial condensation. With this method, he could predict at least 5 of the 6 winning numbers, leaving only 2 to chance. The odds dropped from millions to just a few thousand. Thousands of miles away, a young man named Robert Wynn was starting his very first job at a state lottery office. He had no idea he'd spend the next 20 years hunting for a man he hadn't even heard of yet. He didn't start with millions. He started small. In March of 1965, he found a partner willing to fund his first attempt. In exchange, Stefan would keep only 20% of any winnings. Their first attempt worked. They won the jackpot, plus several smaller prizes, $20,000 in total. Stefan's share was only $4,000, but it was enough to prove his method actually worked. And it was enough to buy something far more valuable than money, an exit. He bribed the right officials, left Romania, passed through Israel, and brought his family to Australia. Most people play the lottery hoping for a miracle. Stefan decided to build a machine instead. His idea sounded insane. If you can't predict the winning combination, then you simply buy all of them. Every single possible combination. He realized that in some draws, buying every combination actually cost less than the jackpot itself. "Theoretically, anybody can do this," he said years later. "Any schoolboy could calculate these combinations. What set him apart wasn't the math. Nobody had ever built a system to actually process that many tickets," he admitted. That night alone, he checked the numbers a third time, then a fourth. Part of him almost hoped he'd made a mistake, because if he hadn't, there would be no turning back from what came next. It sounded simple, but there was a problem. Millions of combinations, and almost no time. This can't be done by one person, he realized. Millions of tickets, millions of dollars. For one night, he almost gave up entirely. Nobody has ever done this, he told himself. Maybe that's because it simply can't be done. The next morning, he almost mailed the money back to his one investor. He didn't. He just kept working, quietly terrified and unable to stop. So he stopped thinking like an accountant and started thinking like an engineer. He started gathering people, investors, people willing to take a risk, people who didn't fully understand what they were getting into. This wasn't a game anymore. This was a business. He founded 2 companies, Pacific Financial Resources and the International Lotto Fund. He convinced thousands of investors to fund his operation with millions of dollars. Maria watched the money grow and watched her husband disappear into it. You found your system. But what happened to us? 3 weeks before the first major draw, his largest investor called. He wanted out. "This is insane, Stefan. What if you're wrong? Without that money, the whole operation would collapse before it even started." Stefan had one night to convince him to stay. In a warehouse outside Melbourne, he hired 16 full-time staff. He designed an automated system, printers and computers running his algorithm. 30 computers, 12 laser printers, filling out tickets automatically, one combination at a time. Over 3 months, they printed 7.1 million tickets. 2 days before the deadline, one of the 12 printers broke down. Without it, they'd fall nearly 600,000 tickets short. They worked through the night, cannibalizing parts from a broken machine to fix it. By dawn, the printer was running again. They paid $60,000 just to ship the tickets to the United States. This didn't look like a lottery anymore. This looked like a heist. By 1982, Mandel's syndicate had won 12 Australian jackpots, plus hundreds of thousands of smaller prizes across Australia and the UK. Different countries, different systems, the same result. But the wins didn't go unnoticed. Robert Wynne had been tracking Mandel's syndicate for years, filing report after report that no one above him took seriously. "He's not cheating," Wynne wrote. "He's just reading the rules better than the people who wrote them. That should worry us more, not less." Wynne didn't stop at reports. He flew to Melbourne with an inspection order. He walked straight into Mandel's warehouse and watched 12 printers running at once. He'd found his proof. For one afternoon, Wynne had enough to shut the whole operation down on the spot. But the law hadn't caught up yet. Nothing he'd witnessed was actually illegal yet, so he did the only thing he could. He pushed lawmakers to close the loophole. Australian authorities finally listened and banned bulk buying and computer-printed entries. Wynne had won this round. But Mandel had already found his next target, a country 3 times bigger and far less prepared. He set his sights on the United States. He chose Virginia. The Virginia lottery had no laws preventing anyone from buying every combination. Tickets cost just $1 each, and it used only 44 numbers, reducing the total combinations to 7.1 million. The jackpot, $27 million. The cost of every combination, $7.1 million. He mobilized 2,500 investors, raising over $9 million. This was the perfect situation, or the perfect trap. Wynn heard about Virginia from a colleague. He picked up the phone. "It's him again," he said. "And this time the stakes are 10 times higher." This time, Wynn had no legal power to stop it. Virginia's rules allowed exactly what Mandel was planning. So he did the only thing left. He started calling grocery store chains directly, warning them what was coming. February 1992. The operation begins. Days turned into hours. Hours turned into minutes. His team negotiated bulk buys with grocery stores all across Virginia, sending cashiers checks to buy tens of thousands of tickets at once. A few store managers, spooked by Wynn's calls, refused the bulk orders outright. "Some guy from the lottery office told us this could get us in trouble," one manager said. For a moment, it looked like Wynn might actually pull it off. Stop a $27 million operation with nothing but a handful of phone calls. But Wynn's calls had also tipped off a local reporter. By evening, the story was on the radio, and curious Virginians started buying lottery tickets themselves, hoping for a piece of the jackpot everyone was suddenly talking about. Some stores ran out of tickets entirely. The system wasn't built for this. For the first time, Stefan Mandel might actually lose. Wynn tried to get the draw postponed. Legally, he had no grounds. All he'd done was make the whole state watch. The lottery balls began to fall. One set of numbers. One combination out of 7.1 million. And somewhere among millions of tickets lay the answer. They won. The jackpot, $27 million. Plus $900,000 in smaller prizes. Somewhere in a small office, Robert Wynn watched the winning numbers appear on the screen. He didn't feel defeated. He felt something closer to respect. 14 agencies investigated. 14 found nothing illegal. Mandel and his fund were officially cleared of any wrongdoing. He was untouchable, and that was exactly the problem. Instead of stopping, he pushed further. He promised bigger returns to bigger investors, chasing a new scheme in a place where the math no longer worked in his favor. "Stefan, the numbers don't work this time," his own analyst warned him. He didn't listen. The venture failed. Investors who'd trusted him for years demanded their money back, money that was no longer there. Lawsuits followed. Legal fees piled up faster than any jackpot ever had. In 1995, Stefan Mandel filed for bankruptcy, not because his system had failed him, but because for the first time he'd trusted his own certainty instead of the math. Maria didn't say, "I told you so." She just handed him a plane ticket, somewhere quiet, somewhere far from lotteries. He didn't end up in prison. He didn't end up rich either. He ended up on a quiet island in Vanuatu, with enough left to live simply and a story no lawsuit could take from him. Robert Wen retired the same year. In his final report, he wrote just one line: "A man who showed us how fragile our own systems really are." Most people still believe in randomness, but somewhere in the world there lived a man who proved otherwise. Randomness is just a system you haven't understood yet. And an even harder truth: beating the system isn't the same as knowing when to stop. He'd beat the lottery, he'd beat the system, he'd beat 14 governments. He'd spent a lifetime calculating odds. He never calculated how many evenings with Maria he gave up for them. For more stories like this, watch our channel